Governor Romney's system has mandates in Massachusetts, although you've backed away from mandates on a national basis.
No, I like mandates. The mandates work.
Beg
your
pardon?
I
didn't know you were going to admit that.
No, absolutely.
You like mandates.
Let me tell you what kind of mandates I like, Fred, which is this. If
the ones you come up with.
Here's my view. If somebody can afford insurance and decides not to buy it, and then they get sick, they ought to pay their own way, as opposed to expect government to pay their way. And that's an American principle. That's a principle of personal responsibility. So I said this: if you can afford to buy insurance, then buy it. You don't have to if you don't want to buy it, but then you got to put enough money aside that you can pay your own way. Because what we're not going to do is say, as we saw more and more people in this country doing,
you impose tax penalties in Massachusetts.
Yeah, we say, look,
buy it.
If people can afford to buy it, either buy the insurance or pay your own way. Don't be free riders and pass on the cost of your health care to everybody else.
The government is going to make you buy insurance.
No, the government's going to stop.
I mean, the state, your state plan, which is, of course, different from your national plan, did require people to make that choice, though. The state required them to do that. What was the penalty if they refused?
They refused to pay your... Let's go back, Fred. What's your view? If somebody...
Well, I asked the question first.
No, okay. Well, I'll answer your question. You answer mine. If somebody is making, let's say, $100,000 a year and doesn't have health insurance, and they show up at the hospital and they need a $1,000 repair of some kind for something that's gone wrong, and they say, look, I'm not insured, I'm not going to pay. Do you think they should pay or not?
Did your plan cut people off at $100,000? Was that the level?
No, actually...
Did it only apply to people with $100,000 income and over?
It actually applies to people at 3 times federal poverty. They pay for their own policy. At less than 3 times federal poverty, we help them buy a policy so everybody is insured. And everybody is able to buy a policy that's affordable for them. And the question is this, again, if someone can afford a policy and they choose not to buy it, should they be responsible for paying for their own care, or should they be able to go to the hospital and say, you know what, I'm not insured, you ought to pay for it? What we found was 1/4 of the uninsured in my state were making $75,000 a year or more. And my view is they should either buy insurance or they should pay their own way with a health savings account or some other savings account.
We have an expression in television. We get in the weeds. We're in the weeds now on this. But let me just come to one point. Yes or no? In your national plan, would you mandate people to get insurance?
I think my plan is a good plan that should be adopted by other states. I wouldn't tell every state.
Would you mandate?
I would not mandate at the federal level that every state do what we do. But what I would say at the federal level is we'll keep giving you these special payments we make if you adopt plans that get everybody insured. I want to get everybody insured. In Governor Schwarzenegger's state, he's got a different plan to get people insured. I wouldn't tell him he has to do it my way, but I'd say each state needs to get busy on the job of getting all our citizens insured.